Oh, yeah, I love it. Then you could put it on
Lovely. Okay, so first thing you need to do, if you work in groups, that's really great. You've pretty got the idea. It's good to work together, isn't it? You need to count them up. Let's see how many you got. So it's a bit weird. These are still counting. They're slow counting. Okay, so how are we doing? This group here, how are you doing? So how many you got? 22.
You see, you've got to share dancing coat.
I've got
13, twice up, 22, 13. Anybody else above 20, was it 22? Yeah. Anybody else get more than 22? Wow, absolutely. Do you know, I've been in 3-hour statement meetings where we don't have one flipping idea. It's 22.
Can I just say that that's a very unusual statement meeting? The
problem is that we read verbatim through the statement, and that just takes so much time, and I've read it 2 weeks beforehand because the code of practice said then that's what you should do. And we sit down for some reason and read it again. Why am I reading stuff that I've already read at home? That was the kind of day. That's thinking a bit outside the box, isn't it? It might be different. I might need to move to Sheffield then. Milky's wolf, you know. But I didn't say that. Okay. But 22. So even if 10% of those were good, you know, that's 2 or 3 ideas within 3 minutes. How cool is that? And if we worked collectively, we'd have loads of ideas. The thing we have to check out now is whether the use of these paper clips are both positive, okay, and possible. So I'm going to try it out on you. So you shout a couple out, and I'm going to see whether this paper clip. I'm worried about that group there, because that's what I'm doing. So just say whether, shout something out, and I'll try to see if it's both positive and possible use of this paper clip. Who's going to go for it? I want hair.
Hair clip.
Okay, so my hair's getting a bit thin this day. Yeah, positive, possible. Yeah, okay, so we circle that one. Another idea? Ear. Oh, cool. I've got fat earlobes. It's going to ruin. Okay, is it fun?
It's going to pinch.
It's going to pinch. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit. It's possible, but not a positive experience. So no, I'm not going for that. No. Any others?
De-stress toy.
A de-stress thing. Yes, I'm a bit anxious or
I
whatever.
take them on and off my finger when I'm translating.
Oh right, okay, cool. Yeah. Any other ideas? Did anybody go for the Barbie handbag? That's a great idea. Any others?
Finger exercises.
Finger exercises, yeah, so I want to be a rock guitarist as well, so I need to get my digits kind of strengthened. So yeah, finger exercises, how cool is that? So we're circling what's positive and possible. So what we've done is we collect the information, then we have a discussion, is it both positive and possible, that moves to an outcome or an action or a use of, yeah? I want you to do exactly the same thing, but I want you to think about something else, okay? So this is my daughter, and she said, Dad, I want to live in my own flat. And she dyed her hair. How did she? So she's got black hair. Actually, she's blonde with streaks now, but that's all right. She was black. She said, Dad, I want to live in my own flat. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes and 44 seconds to to come up with as many ideas as you can for my daughter to live in her own flat. Radical, so just remind yourself, we collect the information, then we'll have a discussion about what's possible and impossible to move to outcomes and actions. So don't discuss, just don't judge your ideas. Wild and wacky, sensible is okay. Build on others' ideas, use all your time. Make it homeless is an idea. And then they have to be rehomed. There's no right or wrong, just go for it. 3 minutes, 44 seconds. As many ideas as you can. As many ideas as you can for my daughter to live in her own. That's the outcome. As many ideas as you can.
Buy a house.
Buy a house. Buy a house. Rent a house.
Thing in the garden. Yeah. Share with a friend.
I guess, just out of curiosity, just the youth group who won this is the Bulldog Hip Cup. So well done to you. Absolutely. And just checking you at 22 last time, how did you do this time?
Too old to count. 22.
22, do you know? Consistent? Yeah, anybody else have more or less? Less? I'm loving this group. Anybody else have less? Anybody else have less or more? Because what I noticed, I might be wrong, is that because I'm making some real assumptions about stuff, but I noticed a lot of people were doing that discussion and not much about getting the ideas down. Is that fair or not? I saw a lot of talking, I didn't see many people writing stuff down. Maybe that's an assumption. Sorry? Okay. Bit confused about...
I wasn't entirely sure what was meant by own flat.
Okay.
Because that could be two different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was where a lot of the discussion was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess we'd ask Georgie, wouldn't we? Absolutely, what she thinks of an own flat wouldn't be. Absolutely, yeah. Any other kind of reflections on that? So often we get off, get into discussion, and we don't get the ideas down. The ideas, we get as many ideas as we can do. Then we discuss what's possible, that moves to an action plan before the outcomes. So that's what we're doing. So, any ideas to help a young person, Georgie's 17, to move to the outcome that she said, I want to move to my own flat. So any ideas? And let's test whether they're both positive and possible. Any ideas?
You talked about house sitting for somebody else.
Loving that. So house sitting. Is that going to cost me any money? She might get paid for it. So hey, she could earn money and learn skills as well. Win-win. Loving that idea.
Somebody did like pet sitting, same idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go away to work, they went and lived in 2 weeks to look after a pet.
Yeah, absolutely. So she could get a job, house sitting, ka-ching, and she's learning the skills as well. Loving that. You can come back. Loving that. Any other ideas?
Social housing waiting.
Yeah. So when can you start that? So I thought social housing waiting.
Go on it.
Yeah. When can you apply to go on that?
I don't know what that is.
16? 16? Is anybody here that's got a young person 16 or over? Have you done that?
I'll probably run it.
Because you can always say no, couldn't you? You can always say, actually, that's not the best option. But if you don't do, and you do it at 25, you've missed.
You've got a 5-year wait, yeah.
Yes, they've got a 5-year wait, absolutely. Any other ideas?
Go to residential college or a campus.
Positive possible? What do you reckon? Yeah, good. I'm not going to dismiss it. We'll have a discussion. If we were serious about this, I'd have Georgie in the room. Georgie, how would you feel about going to college, residential college, learn about childcare, and learn about how to live by yourself? Would you like to do that? Yeah. So we don't dismiss it. We'll have a discussion with Georgie on that.
We wondered whether if she went to university to study childcare, whether she needs to qualify for student accommodation. This
Yeah.
residence which will be in a halfway house.
So using this kind of student kind of idea, hey, could she? Have you heard of key ring? So the stuff where people have flats in a small kind of area, and the support they get to help them live, somebody gets free digs. So in Sheffield, I was here last night. You've got loads of students, haven't you? And they get free digs as long as they support people in their own flat. So very, very minimal support, very little cost. And what happens in that kind of keyring stuff is relationships form. So they look out for each other. How cool's that? But yeah, student stuff as well. Absolutely.
What did you say that was called?
Keyring. Keyring, like a key ring. Yeah, absolutely. Any other ideas?
Related to that, I suppose, we came up with quite a few different ideas around having accommodation that goes with a job. Or you get the job that brings you the accommodation.
Absolutely, so a job with yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nannying. I love this.
Rent on somebody else.
Sorry?
Rent.
Rent, buy, yeah, mortgage. Have you thought about that?
The one you might not like is expensive, but the big good ones like a granny flat or annex.
Yeah, so look at the property I've got. Can I make an extension? Let's just take all those ideas. Does that make sense? You had a hand up,
I
was you?
was wondering whether you could tie up homeless people, homeless young people, with somebody that needs a bit of support.
Yes,
So
some
both
reciprocal
support each
stuff.
other.
I'm loving it.
The homeless will have a bit of meaning to their life.
Absolutely. Because, what's available is getting less and less and less, isn't it? But what's possible is kind of, as big as you like, isn't it? So I think that's a really
Obviously,
good...
it depends on, people will want your child to go with a drug addict, but, you don't have to let them somehow.
Yeah, it's about making it healthy and safe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, have you thought about reciprocal relationships? Actually doing a favour and maybe getting a favour back. I'll tell you a couple of stories because we need to finish, don't we? So, a couple of stories. So my son, I'm with the neighbour that's got a son that's really having a problem at school. Okay? So I'm sitting down with a cup of tea with Mum, talking about, parent-to-parent stuff, you give all the tips and advice, don't you? You do that sort of stuff. So I'm giving some tips and advice about how to support your son to stay in school and different things, and here's some ideas about planning with your son. And then my son phoned me up. He was on a rugby tour the following day. He says, "Dad, disaster. I've dyed my hair. It's gone bright orange, right? And I'm going on a rugby tour. All the shops are closed." And I was going, okay. And he comes in and he says, "The problem is though, I can only see the front. So at the back, I've missed loads of patches. But he's like a cheetah. And it's bright orange stuff and dark brown hair." He says, "Dad, I've either got to shave it off or whatever." And so I'm laughing and telling this lady called Maxine, telling Maxine this. She says, "Well, my daughter's a hairdresser. Well, tell her to come round." So he comes round in the evening. I'm chatting with her about autism stuff, and while he's got a thing around it, his daughter's sorting out the son's hair. How comes that? So it goes kind of light orange, but at least it's kind of respectable for the rugby tour, you know? So reciprocal relationships. Reciprocal relationships. Any other kind of reflections? I've got a couple of stories to tell you. Any other kind of reflections? I'm passionate about work. I really am. Just a couple of stories. One guy says, "I've got the most confidential paper shredding, self-employed, guy with learning disability, got the most confidential paper shredding business." Any ideas how he can offer that? So he earns a living by shredding paper. Goes around companies, offices and stuff like that. Any ideas?
Takes it to them?
Sorry?
Yes,
so he takes a shredder, he's got a portable shredder, goes to an office, he might come to this church and say, "I can shred your stuff, I can do it confidential. I won't go down a dog and duck and tell anyone. Confident." How can he guarantee that?
Because he can't read it all right.
He can't read it all right. How comes that? So he's used something about his disability to make it into something I can offer a confidential, because I can't read. And he's getting paid work, he's self-employed. So then I'm going to push you, box stuff, okay? One lady who's got real serious physical disability. I mean, all she can do is sit. She can't move, 24/7 care. All she can do is sit in a chair, but she's getting minimum wage work. Artist model. How cool is that? So somebody said, it's a bit like me. I can't sit still. I'm always moving around. And somebody said, "That's a real gift. I can't do that. I can't sit still for long. How can we use that gift of sitting still?" And then somebody says, "Well, and they love her at the university because she sits and they can do like stuff with her hands and her face and she doesn't move. How cool is that? And she gets minimum wage for that gift. Of not moving. Yeah, how cool is that? Any other kind of reflections, any other thoughts? I'll leave you one more story. Lady was learned to knit in post-16, right? And pull one, pick one, drop it, whatever it is, that sort of stuff. There's something I've got no idea with. And what the staff used to do was undo it all, and then the next day she came in, she'd knit the square again. Have you seen that sort of stuff? And they undid the full wall, and she kind of knit it again. And again, it's that kind of thinking different. And somebody said, that's something I can't do, I can't knit. And what can we do with those knitted squares? So somebody did a bit of Googling, and they said, in Africa they're crying out for blankets. What we can do, we can sew them together, make blankets and send them to Africa. Sorry? Or sell them on eBay. I'm loving you, absolutely. But what happened was, somebody said, "That's really well, they set up a knitting club." So now this lady, rather than going to a day centre where she knitted underneath the wall, she goes to a day centre in a place like this, with a load of ladies that knit, and they have a coffee, have a gossip. The knitting club pick her up from where she lives, take her to the knitting club, takes her back home, and while they're knitting squares or making blankets for people in Africa, how cool is that? All started from "I can't knit, she can." Does that make sense? So in summary, you need to start young when you're thinking about aspirations. We heard that this morning, didn't we? So when's the right time? It says, I want to be a lithographer, Georgie said to me. So start young when you're thinking about aspirations. But with that, kind of use that, thinking outside the blocks to really firm up some outcomes. Outcomes are future focused. They need to be a result. They need to be smart. I got to a stage with the school wasn't doing too well. And so I'm coming from this kind of consultancy stuff. My wife's a good teacher, pincer movement on the school, about stuff. And they started calling me Mr. Ralphs, I thought, hello, and then official letters and stuff like that. And the gap got bigger, and we're spotting more and more things going wrong, and they were having to go at ours, and we became difficult, demanding parents. And I just had this flashy stuff is, hey, do you know that Georgie's missing out here? So there's me battling with these kind of people at school. We've missed out with Georgie. So what I went back to school and said, what can we do together to help Georgie be successful? To do all this. What can we do together to help Georgie have a really good life? And also we started working together. So outcomes gives us a real focus about working together. And then if somebody suggests an outcome, does it fit with that or outcome? And that's why I said, how's that going to help my daughter get a job, drive a car, get a flat? And it's not always the obvious people. It was the kind of deputy head of the school said, we'll change the curriculum. If that's not joining us to, we can change the curriculum. You know, how cool's that? What a great... So I could have gone to different areas and stuff like this. I said, I'll do it for you. I'll change it. So, you know, who's going to help you? And it says developing an action plan. So think about aspirations, thinking outside the box, get focused around your outcomes, and then think about what am I going to do to help us. We'll start with the end in mind, or begin with the end in sight. What actions are going to help us get towards our outcomes? I hope that's helped around some stuff, and I guess we've got some questions.
I've got a question. What happens when you very positively, imaginatively, and you come up against somebody who you find just can't get that?
What do I do?
Yeah,
I go and find somebody that can. I went to our local authority and it's okay, we've got to wait till she's 18 before she can access this service. So I go to the vice principal of the school, yeah, I will help you. And I go to somebody that's really good at work experience, says, yeah, we'll do that for you. And we'll use some of the money from the academy to help Georgie do some work experience. So, okay, so that's people that help Georgie, right? Any other kind of questions?
How, from an authority's point of view, we're starting to look at how we work differently with parents, how we start the planning process much, much earlier than we've ever done before. How easy is it to change the mindset and the culture of professionals to work in this fashion? Because it ticks all the boxes, it's what we want to do, but we've got a huge, huge professional workforce in Sheffield, in health, social care, education. There will be some people already working with these models and working very successfully with schools and parents on these models. But what kind of journey have you heard about actually changing the culture and the mindset overall?
Well, I was going to say, what do people think? That's a bit of a... when people have invested time, I think. So I see stuff in, say, Manchester, that are doing really, really good stuff, but they did that Getting Alive stuff. So they've invested, and before that they did some stuff around personal budgets and how we use money effectively. So they've almost got that history of stuff as well. A lot of people, this is really quite new. So I guess I think it's learning from those, what are the lessons learned from places like Manchester, how did they do that? And I heard Manchester, they had some targets about getting young people with disability into work, paid them 16 hours a week, minimum wage. And I went to do some work with them in December, and that was their March target. They said, we've done it already. And I said, well, how have you done it already? They said, what we did, we said, this person's going to be an asset to your company. They said, they've got these gifts, this is what they can do, this is what they can offer your company. They're going to be an asset. And that's where they sold the person with disability. Rather than saying, here's a range of support needs, they were saying, this person's really going to help your job. They're going to be an asset. People with learning disability take a third less sick leave than you and me. That's an asset, isn't it? They're more loyal about staying in work, so 3 times longer than you and me in a job as well. It's just getting the support right, isn't it? It's just getting the support right. But you know, how do we present stuff? So if you did the one-page profile workshop, we start off with what we like and admire about people. So that's what I heard around the employment. It's starting with these people have gifts, their ability, don't see their support needs, but focus on what they're good at. And I think, to be honest, I think we're being forced a bit. You know, my feeling is because things are getting smaller and smaller, we've got to be much more creative. And when you see poverty happening throughout history, people are more creative. And I think actually, because we're still in those times of austerity, you know, we need to think more creatively. We need to think about, hey, we haven't got any lines. How do we join those dots together? I think that's part of the thinking as well. Anything else? I'm conscious I'm on camera. It's what I used to say, okay, you fill out the evaluations forms. All you do is tick on the right-hand column right at the end there. You just kind of tick that box there. But no, so thank you very much. I'm more than happy. Take care. Make sure you do the evaluations.